Don't be fucking doing outtakes.
Outtakes. We should do these all the way through the season. You messing about with your camera.
Fuck off.
Well, Gav, I've clicked record, mate. I can't go back now.
Still going back, Gav. It better be perfect when
There's
you're
no
back
stop
on.
start on this.
Drum roll.
We're just waiting for Gav to sort out his background, as usual.
There it is. Look, perfect.
It could be anything. We'll cut all this. We'll have to cut this, won't we?
We're gonna have to.
Is that better?
No.
Well, it's like a one-eye Rousey there.
Yeah. Looks like you're at the game anyway. Right, Scudden. Right, leave it. Come on.
No, cat's blanket's on.
I don't mind. I like the cat's blanket.
Oh.
Right, go on, Coops. Get it rolling.
Should we start?
Yeah, let's start.
3-second pause.
Am I looking at the camera?
You are.
Right.
You are. And so is that one eye behind you as well. Okay, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dirty Old Podcast with the three amigos, Gav, Rousey, and myself, Coops. We all good, fellas?
All good, fellas.
All ready to talk all things Ammies and positive and happy and
Can't wait. I've been looking forward to this one.
Rousey, you're lying there because on Tuesday you said I don't want to go on that fucking podcast because you've got me talking about this shit again.
I did because it was winding me up.
The first 6 episodes were brilliant, weren't it? It was
they
so
were.
positive, and it seems to have gone downhill rapidly. Before we start, I did want to mention we might have an actual guest next week, like a proper guest, not just like a fan, somebody.
Neil Wood?
No. And there was going to come on tonight. But they already had plans. It was kind of like a last minute. But it'll be a good one, a very good one, or well, maybe 2 actually. There might be 2.
Is he or she in the jungle?
Yes, Matt Hancock's delving right in.
Anything for some money at the minute.
So we'll hopefully have a guest. I'm trying to before once I sort of dot the I's, cross the T's. Once that happens, I'll announce it. Obviously, I'll let you guys know, and but it'll be a good one. It should be good.
Good. Looking forward to it.
So we'll have to be on our best behaviour. No, we won't be all right.
Definitely not.
Well, where do we start? So much to go through.
At the beginning.
Let's go with Peterborough because I think that's kind of like a positive start in some ways. 0-0 draw. I suppose take that. That's like obviously you want to win the game, but you get the replay back for the Salford fans back at Peninsula. So what do we think about the game, guys? I know you went.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good game. Positive performance. It was very evenly matched, in my opinion. I don't think.
You remember it, Rousey?
Yeah, no, I do. I do remember it. Well, bits of it. I remember coming away thinking, yeah, that was all right. But yeah, from what I remember, like I said, I never. Not that I wasn't ever worried because Peterborough are a dangerous team and they're doing well in their league. I think they'd made a couple of changes from memory, and as did we. To be fair, it wasn't our strongest 11, but which we'll get onto a little bit later because some of the starting lineup and the positionings that he's playing lads in at the minute is a little bit perplexing to say the least. But I actually felt that we did all right against Peterborough. Like I said, it was quite a close contest. I know they shaded it in shots on target and stuff, but I think I felt it was a good game, a good FA Cup game. I felt that we wanted it, or the lads on the pitch wanted it. I felt we was getting ourselves into some good positions off the ball. We were good actually on the ball as well. And from memory, I can't remember them dominating the game or dominating the play. I felt all the way through that it was a good 50-50 contest personally, which, like I said, you take that from the league above, sitting in the playoffs. So I was happy with it. I was happy. It was a good day. It was a good game of football, and I was happy to get the replay.
Good. Gav, anything to add on that?
Yes. So I think I wasn't shy on saying that I was very worried because they're a decent team. And in comparison with our recent performances, let's say the last 4 or 5 weeks, I came away thinking we was excellent for 2/3 of a pitch. I thought Galbraith, my mate, was excellent. Playing him towards the right suited him. He had energy. He was chasing back. He was doing his defensive work. And he seems obviously like a player where if Neil Wood says to him, this is what you need to do, he follows instructions. Yeah. Because he played that right side excellent for me as defensively, so to say. And we had it freed up Bolton on the right-hand side quite a bit. So, yeah, Galbraith for me was excellent. Tom King, excellent. And fantastic. He didn't applaud us when he first came out because of the stick he got at Leyton Orient. I noticed that. And if we have to give him stick for him to actually perform and play better, then let's give him stick. Because I thought since, even prior to Orient, he wasn't bad. It's just his kicking. But I thought he was excellent against Peterborough. He kept us in it a few times. Watt looked excellent. I've got my list. Jenkins started and played. Jenkins looks very similar to Watt and Galbraith. Give Jenkins a run, and if them three, forward with Watson, can make triangles across the pitch, we both do very well with a football. We're about to move up that pitch. Them forward look like decent footballing players who could connect with each other, be best mates on the pitch. They can make things happen. Will take a bit of time. Yeah. Torre, I thought again was excellent. Apart from he just struggling to cross the ball off the ground.
Well, again, yeah.
What's wrong with him crossing off the ground?
I was going to touch on that a little bit.
The amount of tight spaces he was in, and I was about to call him twinkle toes at one point. I thought he was excellent. It's just that final bloody ball, and that's I think why I said the first 2/3 of the pitch we was excellent. Dackers started.
I think the Peterborough game, I don't think he did too bad. Obviously, the Rochdale game, he missed 2 glorious chances, but I think the Peterborough game, I think he actually played okay. He got himself into some good positions from memory, but obviously, like you've just alluded to there, Gav, it's getting the ball in the box to him. We did against Rochdale, and he fluffed his lines a little bit. But like I said, from memory, I actually felt he did okay against Peterborough. But I agree with you. I think that the midfield.
I didn't say anything about that because I just mentioned his name, and then you went, "Whoa!"
Yeah, no, because I know where you're going with it, and I actually felt he did all right against Peterborough.
I wasn't actually necessarily about to go with it because I know that Martin wants to talk a little bit about Dackers after. So what I was about to say is a little bit like you. Technically, he looks like he's got something about him. And without going too far on the next conversation, he spent 5-6 years at Man City as a kid. You'd expect him to be technically quite good. So in the middle of the park, didn't really do anything wrong. And to be honest, 19-year-old kid, he didn't do anything wrong, well, against Peterborough, but it didn't look as though he was about to affect anything, apart from the centre of the pitch, a few passes, what have you. Young lad, he needs coaching, he needs to learn, he needs to be on the pitch. So I'm not about to slate him, but the decision to start him and then we brought on 2 subs, and again, why didn't we not just throw on 4 subs
and go for it?
If you're bringing on Endre, who has been injured, you're risking it. You want to go for it. Only reason you bring on Endre, go for it. Chuck on 4 players. Let's go for it. We had players on the bench. Go for it. That was my only thing. But I thought we was excellent against a really good team. Yeah. Although, again, I think they rested a few players as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we was excellent. Galbraith, again, I'll pick him out, and Tom King. Them 2, for me, were excellent.
I mean, at the end of the day, they still part of a team that they think is capable of beating Salford City on the day. Yeah. And it doesn't matter who they've rested. I know their leading goal scorer didn't start the game, but he came on for the last half an hour. So, you know, they was going for it as well. They would have brought on a couple of substitutions to win that game. And to be honest, like we said before this game, we was kind of going, I know we was trying to be optimistic and say we're going to nick a 2-1 win, but draw we'd be more than happy with. And if we got beat, again, you don't want to get beat if you've not tried, but if you've tried and you got beat, you kind of go, well, League One team doing really well, it's expected. But what we do know, guys, is obviously Neil Wood does listen to the podcast. Hi, Neil.
All right, Neil.
I think you're the best, Neil. I never told you.
Because we did say before the Peterborough game that Dackers should start, and the Hood's coming up, so there's something coming.
Sorry, Neil.
We did say for Dackers to start, and Jenkins should start or be featuring in games, and lo and behold, we knew there was changes to be made, but they started, and it rolled into the Rochdale game, which we'll come into. So my only question, just as we sort of roll into the Rochdale game, is what changed?
Can I sorry, I didn't say too much about the Peterborough match. I didn't blah on that, but I did miss something important.
Go on.
So fouls, they had 16, we had 6. I think that was very important in the game. They made some very, very good fouls.
Yeah.
And for us to only have 6 fouls, sort of, we missed out on something. We maybe missed out on a few tricks. Maybe we don't need to foul, but I won't take that. I will not take that during the game. Even the better teams do not make above 10 fouls. You've got to make fouls. You've got to be pushing your opponent. You've got to be intimidating some sort of. You got to choose your player you want to intimidate. You want to try to get sent off or whatsoever. Yes, maybe that shouldn't be taught to schoolboys, but that's how you win in League Two and League One and whatsoever. So that one thing stood out to me.
Yeah, just to jump into that though, I don't think Peterborough were fouling to intimidate Salford. Like you said, I just think they were clever fouls, breaking up play.
They weren't intimidating. They were clever.
Yeah. But you're right. It's a good little point that, and
they did 10 more fouls than us.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I didn't pick up on that at all. But like I said, it's a good stat to have. And like I said, it probably shows how well our midfield and back line were doing. Moving the ball up quickly, that they were having to commit those fouls to stop the play. Not that there'd be anyone in the box when we get it into the final third, but anyway. And also, it was good to see Nartay back. Nartay was on the bench, so that was a positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not too far away.
Best bench warmer in country.
Yeah.
Well, we obviously we're gonna catch up on Nartay a little bit later on in the pod, but. So yeah, I mean, we roll into Rochdale. We've come off a somewhat positive result at Peterborough with a draw away and get the replay in the FA Cup. Fans have gone home relatively happy because we've seen a good game of football. The team changed slightly for the Rochdale game, but it was still like for like in terms of 1 or 2 changes, but nothing drastic. And it seems like it changed somewhat. So what went wrong, guys?
Well, the first half for me didn't change much. We dominated the first half. We had a lot of the ball, again, moved it around pretty good. I watched Neil. I went to the game obviously, and it was frustrating, but I watched Neil Wood's interview, and I don't think he was far wrong, to be fair. I think how we lost that game was mental. We just absolutely shocking defending. Switching off and the key thing is not taking our chances, the ones that we do get. We're having 2 little shots on target. Again, just going back, like the Peterborough game, we can kind of discard that because they're the league above in a playoff position, but 2 shots on target, it's pretty poor, even though we did play well in that game. Rochdale, 1 shot on target. Orient away, no shots on target. Hartlepool, we scraped past the poor side there. Stockport, we got beat, 3 shots on target at home. Bradford, we got beat, 1 shot on target. It's shocking. It's really bad at that, and you can see where the problem is. And I don't think Neil Wood is one of those managers that will dig his players out in interviews, but I think that's a dig at his attackers, his attacking players. What did he say? Was it 26 or 29 crosses into the box, and only 6 were successful? For me, that's a swipe at them to say
that's a swipe at Torre.
Yeah, the balls aren't good enough into the box. and he should be highlighting that we're not having enough quality shots on target. Like I said, it's really, really poor. But when we've got possession, we're comfortable. We actually were in that first half against Rochdale. We played some good stuff. We were switching the play really, really well, and I was happy with that. But you get to the final third, they come onto us and put a bit of pressure on, and we were taking the piss a little bit. But we were shouting, "Pass it back to King," jokingly. It was nearly going all the way back to King because the lads' heads just fell clean off. It was like we didn't know what to do in that final third when we were attacking. It's like, shit, we're under pressure, play it back. Nicey nice there, sideways. One good, decent ball forward, and it was just a pattern again. It was going all the way back. So I can't tell you what changed, but I tell you what needs to change is up front. It needs to be better. It needs to be 100% better, because at the minute, I think the last 6 games in the league, we've lost 4. That's not promotion form. That's relegation form. So, yeah, I can't really tell you what changed for me. But like I said, it was the first half was okay. Second half, we just went to absolute pot. It was ridiculous, the second half. I know we hit the post, and I know we had
Dackers missed one, didn't they?
Dackers missed, obviously, his glorious opportunity. And to be fair, they go in, it might be a different game. But again, I would have been sat here saying we scraped a 2-0 after the way that second half went. And I felt it was out the pool all over again. We were absolutely clueless from the first half. But yeah, drab game. Where was Hendry? Did he get injured from the Peterborough game? Not even on the bench. Again, club not communicating injuries or why he's been dropped, unless it's kicked off for some reason. I just think, again, it's just poor from the club that they're not letting us know.
We can't announce injuries because the opposing team.
I can't tell you the real reason. Neil told me, but
it's shocking. It really, really is. But it was a low quality game, Martin. It wasn't a very, very good game. But possession wise and on the ball, I feel comfortable. Attacking, I'm losing faith week by week, because, like I said, the lads, I don't know what it is. The crosses into the box are poor. When the ball comes in, there's only one person, if anyone, in the box. You're not going to win games like that. You're really, really not. So for me, yeah, like I said, it was frustrating, mate.
I don't want to be as positive as Rousey, because I think you've gone over the top there, to be honest, Anthony. We're trying to be too nice. Not that you was nice. But again, I will say, Galbraith, I thought he played very well on that right-hand side. The previous weeks when I've said, oh my God, and I pulled him, he deserves it. I'm an honest person to say, I believe he was much improved being on that right-hand side. And Jenkins playing, getting more time, fantastic. Other than that, Rochdale were probably one of the worst teams I've seen play. Yeah. They were a terrible team.
Yeah, they
were a terrible team. So to pick up positives about us being able to pass it nice in midfield and embarrass them against a really rubbish team, it didn't wash with me. For me, I think it falls with Neil Wood. He's putting a team out there, and if we haven't got enough players in the attacking third, what is he telling them to do?
Yeah.
If we want enough players in the box, our defence has to be 20 yards further up. Our midfield has to be 20 yards further up. We need to when Bolton's running down the wing, the closest playing 3 players need to be within what 5 meters of his line across the pitch, so to say, in the middle, what have you. We're nowhere near. And if you've got forward midfielders, centre midfielders playing, which we've asked for, Jenkins playing, what have you, but them centre midfielders are actually defensive to a certain extent mindset under him. He's either got to put 1 or 2 of them on, or say to 2 of them, right, do me a favour, you stay 20 yards further forward than him.
Yeah.
If we lose a goal, because you're 20 yards forward, we're about to score 3, we're about to have more opportunities, we're about to shoot, we're about to play. And if you put Matty Lund on and you play him in a defensive midfielder, what the hell? Matty Lund plays in, he didn't even come on, did he? No, Matty Lund didn't even come on. He plays in the attacking spaces. When he's not on, who plays in that space? Nobody. So for me, I think the tactics are wrong, and I think the players are probably losing confidence because they're passing well. They're being not necessarily being creative. And when you're not having shots on goal, when you're struggling against teams, I think the confidence is down a little bit, because that Rochdale team was absolutely terrible. Give Ian Henderson one opportunity and he scores.
Yeah.
Game over. And I was just like say, unless we as a team play 20 yards further forward, we're not about to give him a top 10.
No,
we're not about to affect
I would
games.
agree with that stat, the way it's going at the minute.
And we put 2 subs on, so we put Simoes on, who is a National League player, put Bailey on. He's just come back from injury. Didn't look. Why didn't we again? We took 5 subs on. Lund, why didn't he come on? Attacking midfielder. Smith, again, we say he's not good, but if we need a goal, we want get him on, get the balls in there, get Lund behind him. Benioki, whatever he's bloody called. Number 23, 22 he is, I think he is. He's lightning. Get him on the left, get him running down the wing, get us playing further up front. And Nartay, why is he just sitting on the bench? Yeah, we chuck him on, because if Nartay's playing, the midfield probably would play another 20 yards up forward, because they're not worried about, oh damn it, if I lose the ball. You lose the ball 9 times out of 10. Nartay and Fasal at the beginning of the season, they were clearing up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I found it so frustrated, but the Peterborough match was, again, I thought it was excellent, because I was not expecting too much. Then you go to Rochdale, and Rochdale is absolutely terrible, and we can't beat a terrible team. That's worrying.
I think you're right. I think the points you made in terms of get the final third seems to be the biggest issue for us. We're having the possession, whether it's the right way or wrong way, but we've got the possession, we're passing the ball, but it's that final third, either the final delivery, not having enough people in the box. And I think the biggest thing is, at the moment, I don't know if Neil Wood's changing the strikers to try and give people a kick up the arse, or he really doesn't know who to play in that position. If you look at the last 3-4 games, we've had Smith leading the line, I think, against Leyton Orient. Going off that, previous to that, you had Bolton leading the line on his own. Before that, you had Hendrick leading the line on his own. The last 2 games, you've had Bolton, and then you've had Dackers. Now, yeah. I'm gonna speak about those 2 players, because Bolton isn't a striker, and he's got pace, and he does some good things, and I actually like Luke Bolton, and he does work. He works hard, in my opinion, but he's not a prolific striker. We've not got a prolific striker anyway, but he's not been responsible at previous clubs to put the ball in the back of the net. He's there to create, to give pace, to get down the wing, to bring people into play. And then now we're relying on a young lad in Dackers, who we've sent out on loan to Southend. He's come back. He's had a good loan. We've not just brought him on for 20-30 minutes a game. We've put him straight into a cup game. Okay, and Neil Woods thinks he's had a good game, and we start him in a league game. And then you've got, like I say, you've got Smith on the bench. If that ball, I'm not digging Dackers out for a second here, but if that was the same chance for Smith puts it away.
Oh no! Well, we said that in the stands during the game. If that does fall to Smith, it's in the net. If it falls to any experienced striker, if they put it in, they know the connection, where to put the ball, where the keeper is. And like I said, it probably is just Dackers' age and the fact that he's not experienced. And like I said, he can. I know we lost the game, and it was really, really frustrating, but his performances haven't been bad. He was there, he got himself in the right position. He can be forgiven for missing 1 or 2 of them, but the way the game panned out, it's cost us, hasn't it? Bolton was really unlucky with his back flick. It hit the post 5 minutes later. Really bad defending again in my book, but yeah, Hendry does what he's done throughout his career and just nods it in. So I agree with Gav. I probably was a bit too lenient, but what I'm trying to say is, like I said, I'm happy with us on the ball. We know now that we can move it and we can pass it about, and we've got the some quality in the team to get it up to the pitch. But yeah, for Christ's sake, get it in the box and let's start having a go, because it's just not happening. Like I said, the last 5 or 6 games, I think we've had less than 10 shots on target. It's shocking. It's a shocking stat. and something like I said that needs to change quickly.
We was coming into November in a period where we had relatively no games easier, so but easier fixtures compared to what we've came out from. We played the Bradfords, the Tranmere, Stockport, Leyton Orient. We went into Rochdale away. Okay, away game, but Rochdale should be winning. AFC Wimbledon, okay, came down, but look at the position, and they're coming to our place. It would be again Saturday's a game. I'm expecting us to be winning, regardless. And then we've got Carlisle at home, Gillingham away. That they're not doing much. Walsall, Colchester.
They're all winnable games. They're all of them are winnable games, but the form that we're in, they're also all losable at the minute. It really is. It's like it's absolute 50-50 what Salford turn up.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing, isn't it? You work all week, and you're looking forward to the game on a Saturday, and you want to be excited, but you kind of wake up on a Saturday morning. I do at the moment. I feel a little bit. Of course, still like going to the game. I'm still a little bit excited, but it's an element of flatness. It's like, what are we going to see today? Yeah. Are we going to walk away after another performance where it's playing not up to standard, not to the fan standard, it's playing up to Neil Wood standard and the owner standard? And there's an element of the players. The players need to. Sometimes I look at some of the players and go, are you really trying? Are you really playing? And I'm sure they'll say, of course we're professionals, but like your stat, Gav, I think that's a good one to have about the fouls and things. We don't want to pick up stupid yellow cards, but what I really want to see from the team now is a little bit of grit and a little bit of passion to say, look fans, look guys, we're trying, and you know what, we're going to give it 110%. We might get a few yellow cards along the way. Let's be a team where teams go, geez, we're scared of playing them, even just from the physicality. But I don't know. I don't know what the actual answer is. But I think we probably need to bring in another striker at least.
No, well, it is. Honestly, we laugh, but it's true. We need the ball to start going in the net. It's as simple as peas, really, isn't it? Football, you need to score to win games. So.
Saying that though, if McElhenney comes back and Mallon, it adds a little bit more quality on in depth overall. I'm not saying they'll be on the bench, but whoever, if it's them on the bench or they go in the first team and somebody drops down to the bench, it adds a lot of more competition. I think at the moment with the injuries that we had, it probably lacks the competition in training now, because I think people feel like I've got to start in places. Nobody really is challenging me. We've got Jenkins, we've got Tollarge, we've got these players on loan. They're not going to mix it. But hopefully now Jenkins had a couple of games, a few people might start looking over the shoulder. But
played really well against Peterborough as well, to be fair, Jenkins. He did play really well. I like the midfield, I'm happy with. Yes, I would like a few more threaded through balls, cutthroat balls. But for me, the problem is up front.
I think when we played, you mentioned Peterborough, very similar to Rochdale as well. So especially Peterborough, it's shone. And I guess Rochdale both did. So it's shone out by Evra, bloody hell, Torre, Patrice Torre. Was free on the left hand side a lot, and obviously that's a tactic Ryder's putting in. And there's normally someone free on the right hand side as well, and we do that long ball. So we're moving the team about, but it gets a bit boring, I guess, for the defenders midfield, because all we do is pass it that way, and then we wait for him to pass it sideways or do what he wants. If you're switching that ball, people on the blind side need to be making runs, need to be making them defenders. Oh, I'm not watching the ball. And apart from whoever's active for the ball, we don't seem to be, our movement doesn't seem to be there that much. We need to be making defenders think, oh, where is he this time? He's moved. Luke Bolton against Peterborough on corners, he would go from one side, take both defenders who would change. Then he'd walk to the other side. He'd just have games with him to accept. Well, if you just stand there and you're not moving, it's like for a defender or the midfield, it's like, this is easy. We just getting our pack of four or what it is, because no one's running past us. No one's trying to stretch us. No one's making a gap for his teammate. And
well, actually, that was another big one. The first 6 games, Gav, I thought Hendry did that very, very well. But I think he got frustrated. He got frustrated with
your left back, your right back, whoever.
he was making
surprise them.
He was making some really, really good runs and not getting the ball. And I think that's what was inevitably making him come deeper and deeper, because I genuinely do believe in me out of hearts, them first 5 or 6 games, he was too intelligent for our team with his runs. He was really, really clever with some of his movement. But like I said, yeah, I think he got frustrated with it and it changed his style of play. He ended up coming deeper and winning the ball and trying to make things happen that way. Now, whether that, again, has ultimately pissed Wood off, and I don't know, he just seems to be in and out at the minute, whether it is an injury, whether it is tactical, I don't know. But for me, like I said, I think football brain wise, I think he's one of our better players. He needs to be on for me.
But again, so just him making them runs on his own isn't good enough, as it proved the first games. So he needs to be that run, and them central defenders need to be, oh, us two have got him. Then whoa, where are these other two? He needs his mates, whether it's a midfielder, whether it's a right back, whoever it is. They need to have 2 mates around him. So who we're marking 1-2-1 around him, and we're getting opportunity. It's not just him, mate. We need 2 or 3 around him, because you can't just hoop the ball up to Hendry, hoop the ball up to Smith, and expect us to score. Your mates need to be closer to you. You need to be creating a triangle at every attempt. Every second ball, we need to know that if I'm winning it and I knock it sideways, my mates are. So then I move into that gap, and he knows that I'm moving, and he's about to pass it to me, and we're about to break the defence, and we're about to actually have 1 or 2 opportunities more than what we normally have, and we're not doing that.
No.
To your point there, Gav, I think to sum it up there, I think where we're failing from an attacking perspective is because it's not quick enough, because we're playing the side and backwards football, and we're playing the build up slowly. The whole point of attacking, look, I'm no pro licensed coach, but I'm a football coach, and you guys have football knowledge, you'll understand this. But attacking is all about creating overloads and creating situations that favour you, and put the ball in your court, should we say, where if you've got 5 players attacking 4, gives you an edge. If you've got 5 players attacking 3, gives you a bigger edge, so on. And I think because we move the ball so slowly, we're not getting the ball up there quick enough. And like you say, the defence just steps up, and there's no overloads that we can create. And then when the ball does get up there, by the time we've got it up to, say, a Bolton or a Toure that's playing higher up on the left, we're either samey, 5 against 5, or there's more defenders against the attackers. And that's why we can't break through. We're not creating many chances, because we need to be quicker and move. And like you say, from the midfield, as Rousey said, some of those, just not all the time, there's a time and place, but a couple of killer passes, you've got to try and split the defence. Can you put it into a little pocket of space if Henry's making that run? But then we swamp and get players in behind and around him.
And I can't remember. Rousey mentioned it before about, and I think you just mentioned them about them getting in place. But this beautiful football, which gives us a percentage and gives us some passing. And, oh, we've got the ball, we're doing this, we're in control. That's giving them a chance to set up. We need them to be attacking us. Come and get us. Come on, and we need to have space on a break. But because we spend more time with this beautiful passing and controlling the game and having more opportunity. Oh, we never have more opportunities than them, but it isn't giving us the chance. As you said, if you've got 5-on-4, etc., it goes in your favour. It doesn't matter, because they're already set back up, so we're never about to overload them, because we're taking too long, as you said, to get it forward. And unless we maybe say, well, one of our midfielders, let's sacrifice him for moving 25 yards forward. And if they're about to attack us more because they're about to have the ball more than us, let's make sure that we do what they do. We set up, we keep our discipline, we get the ball, and we break. And when we break with our mates in 3s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, not in one person running forward and the others are 20 yards behind.
I think we've, I suppose we could, we're kind of, it's not really Rochdale relevant what we're talking about at the moment. It's more about generalisation of
it was Rochdale as well, but it happened at Rochdale as well.
But a player I wanted to speak about, obviously, because he's come back from injury now, is Nartay. And I suppose it's a double question, really. First question would be, should Nartay be straight back in that starting lineup? Second question is our defence strong enough? Look at the performances. Midfield is good, we can't attack, but then defensively, I think, look at the goal conceded against Rochdale with Easton. You know, you'd expect somebody of Eastham, say caliber, but you know, of League Two standards should have been winning that. That was too easy for Henderson to score that goal. So that's the question: should Nartay be back in because our defence isn't strong enough?
Yeah, it's dead easy. Yeah, if you look at those games that he started in, we spoke about it. If you go back through the podcast, we felt so comfortable at the back with Vassell and Nartay. They were just sweeping everything up. But, there weren't any, from memory, clean-cut chances from the attacking sides. And when there was, one of the two were there to diving in last-minute tackles and blocks. And I just felt so at ease with him at the back. And again, confidence might have changed a little bit in the team now, so it'd be interesting to see how he plays when he comes into a team that is a little bit nervier, a little bit shaky. And I think we spoke about that. Like, let's see what happens now when the run of the green, the rub of the green, I should say, is going against us a little bit. But yeah, he needs to be back in. If he's fit enough now to be on the bench, give him minutes. And he hasn't twice, has he? He didn't come on, did he, against Rochdale? He definitely didn't come on against Peterborough. He's just bench warmed twice. He's just been there for no reason, just to watch a game of football. Utilise him, get him on. You could replace him for Leek or Eastham for me, because like I said, since the two have come into that back four, we're just so unsteady. You know, Eastham's a bit better on the ball for me than Leek, but I actually feel that Leek might be a little bit of a better defender, if that makes sense. So it's an absolute 50-50. But I'm glad I don't get paid the big bucks to make those decisions. But he needs to be back in that starting 11 on Saturday. If he's fit enough to be on the bench, he needs to be playing.
Gav, you was kind of making a couple of faces.
Yeah. I'm constipated.
This is not like a one-to-one doctor consultation, you know.
Can I ring you after? So like Anthony said, the simple answer to, if he is fully fit, he's our best defender. So do you start your best defender? Yes. I think it's a little bit more difficult than that. If it's between, if you're playing three at the back, so it's Eastham, Leek, and Vassell, he plays and Eastham leaves the team. 100%. If it's Vassell and Leek at the back, well, what I was saying 2 months ago is actually Leek needs games, and he has improved with games. So it's doing Leek well playing. I don't think it's doing him well having Eastham playing in a free.
Yeah, maybe. It might be that. It could be
and
that.
With it being a long season, I don't think there's any harm, Nartay, keeping injury-free and being on the bench for 2 or 3 more games until we get to December. There isn't an issue to give Leek the opportunity to get some more games because he's improved. But if Eastham's playing, 100%, Nartay should be playing before him. Full stop, no questions asked. Nartay is a better defender than Eastham. Leek and Eastham, you can toss a coin, but Leek's the younger one who needs the experience. Eastham's the one who should be playing much better than what he's done throughout his time at Salford. He's shown us nothing. And sorry, Mr. Eastham, but as far as I'm concerned, sit on the bench. If we need you, we'll call you.
I think,
club captain, that Gav, club captain.
I mean, Eastham's come back off of a very long injury. Now, to be fair, we don't look at his stats, his training stats, his running stats, his performance stats, whatever you want to call them. I don't think Eastham's quite. He's not the same as he was before he got injured. If I can round that up. Now, I personally think Nartay is probably our only ball-playing defender we have. And I'm not taking away from anybody else. What I mean is, can Vassell pick a pass out? Yeah, of course, they can pick a pass. But nobody does it like Nartay. When he played the first 6 games of the season, as soon as he got the ball on his feet, his first touch was out his feet. He was looking forward, and he was finding that centre midfielder, finding that player who had plenty of space. He was on a half turn, could then turn into play. and get the ball. And we played quicker football. And all the pundits were saying that we were playing this high, very fluid, attacking football. Attacking football is when you play quick. You break quick and you're getting shots off. It's no coincidence, in my opinion, that since Nartay has been injured, we haven't been the same. We really haven't been the same in some fashion. We've scraped wins, correct, but I suppose the question is, if Nartay does come back in, when we played the first 6 games before he got injured, we played with Vassell and Nartay we played with a back 4. So do we go back to that formation?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're only playing a back 3 because of Easton.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Not because we're better, not because we should do. It's because he wants Easton in the team.
Is this going to be the downfall of the season, though? We're not blaming Easton, and this will fall to Wood in terms of his decisions. He's got to look at what was working well. What was working well was Nartay and Vassell at the back. Perfect, right? We wasn't conceding. We were playing good football, really attacking football. All right, it's not just down to Nartay, but he's part of the cog. And to be fair, when you got 3 at the back, for me, okay, if you're away from home at Leyton Orient and you might want to just go a little bit defensive, okay. But don't play that as you you get go, every single game and start with 3 at the back. Yeah, okay, you've got wing backs, whatever. But then you've got a wing back in Toure that can't always cross a good ball and things like that. So it's kind of like, well, that negates that. I just think we need to go back to where it was going right, get Nartay back in the team, with Vassell as side back, absolutely rock solid. And that gives us another player. And then maybe you can have Smith and Dackers up front, somebody who's got experience and somebody who needs that experience alongside him as well. And let's get 2 up there. So actually, when we're crossing balls in, we've got at least 2 people in the box rather than 1.
Yeah.
Neil Wood, hear us now. Come on.
I think we said it as well. As soon as Nartay got injured, we started playing 20 yards deeper. Why aren't we playing in the final third anymore? Maybe it's because we are just dropping deeper. And if we play with that 4 and we actually push forward another 20 yards, maybe we will get opportunities.
Come on, can feel it. Nartay in the team on Saturday.
We love you, Neil.
Hey, I tell you what, I'll kid you not. If he starts on Saturday,
it's all down to you.
It's down to you.
Setting the podcast up.
He's obviously can't start him now because you just said that. So thanks for that, Chris.
Well, I can't lose then, can I? So
well, bring him on. Just bring him on after 5 minutes then. Don't start him. Bring him on after 5 minutes.
I mean, we kind of spoke about Dackers and how he's played. I think he needs time. He's
100%, 100%.
He's not a player that we shouldn't be relying on him. Is the point? We shouldn't be relying on a lad like Dackers. He needs time. I think now's the time to go. Okay, maybe don't start the next game. Yeah, give yourself a bit of a break. The goal he missed against Rochdale is a prime example that the pressure. I think you could tell the way he reacted afterwards. He was devastated. He was angry with himself.
And I think the thing is as well, I don't think announcing that contract extension when they did was perfect timing, because that just puts needless pressure on him before a game as well. So I don't think that was great by the club. But yeah, the games I've seen him, he's looked okay. I've liked the look of him, but that was a shocker. It was a shocking miss. But yeah, I don't know what the answer is, whether you start him or not on Saturday. I think he needs to get over that and try and get one in the bag as quickly as possible. But I do like him. I do like him. I think he'll be a good player. But yeah, not sure whether he'll start or not on Saturday.
I think he needs time to bed in a little bit. I think if he's on the sideline, comes on for the last 30 minutes, he's watching the game for an hour, he sees how it's playing, and he can analyse and go, I can make a difference.
I can get in there. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Can I laughed at when Anthony talked about the social media, and that's the exact same thing I did when I saw it. I thought, are we laughable, or have I missed something? I thought, well, I've probably missed something, haven't I? I thought, this young lad from Salford, he's been playing on the Salford training field for the last 10 years. He's come through our academy. So why not tell the world about him? But then I checked, and he started at Man City. He went to Brighton, and he came to us year before last year. So he wasn't even our first product we brought through, so to say. And if that was a case, then yeah, let's be happy that we brought someone through. But it wasn't. So it's quite embarrassing that how they did it.
It was a strange one.
Because for me, he's a National League player. He is a National League player. I'm sorry. He's got technical ability. He's probably got that from Man City. Other than that, he's not going to make it in my eyes. I'm so sorry. And the lad is much better player than I've ever been, and he will be. He's another Tom Walker, and I think I said it the other night.
He did.
But let's not all just get excited because we got this young lad called Dackers who's 2 meters 100 or something. He's like Blackpool Tower, and we're chucking him in. Let's get excited about this striker who scores 27 goals, who's 25, and we've just got him in January, and he's about to get us to that promotion push because Dackers ain't about to get us in a promotion push. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Dackers. This isn't personal, and the kid seems a really down-to-earth, nice lad, but I think he's a National League player, personally.
It's not Dackers.
I think he's going to prove you wrong, Gav.
I hope he does, but it tends to not happen, especially, I mentioned it a few times, and I do feel guilty when I say it, especially to him, because you can see he's got natural ability, but you need more than natural ability to get through League Two, League One, the Championship. And obviously, into a Premier League, you obviously need everything with a bit of a cherry on top, so to say. It's just, I wish the lad well. And if we could give him coaching 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, then I reckon Peter Crouch would be able to get something out of him, so to say. As in, not saying it because Peter Crouch is tall, because he needs to develop his game different from many other people because of his height, because he's quite lanky, so to say. So it's not just like developing Endre, who's just the bog standards 5'10" or whatever he is. He's got that extra height. So it's even the problem's what's about coming for Dackers, and we'll take over his head. Once he starts going up for headers, and because he's a bit tall, and his arms and free kicks are going against him, and he's getting frustrated, the referees are on his back, and the players with experience in League Two are winning every foul against him, and it'll be more frustration. The young man needs games, not in League Two, I don't think. He needs to be off our bench, send him out for a loan for the rest of the season, and let's see what he can do again for a full season. And next year, again, another full season. And if he goes away for 2 years and does it, then give him his opportunity, not give him his opportunity just because we're shit.
I think, Gav, though.
Sorry.
No. I think when you just mentioned that about going on loan, I think you might see him go out in January if we bring a striker in. I think at the moment we're probably a little bit light in that area. So I think
I don't think you will. I don't think you will. I think he'll play up top with Hendra.
Let's go.
I seriously, Neil, because you're watching, as soon as you can send him out, send him out. Worst case scenario, all our attackers get injured. Rousey will play up front. He's got a pair of boots.
I'm pretty quick.
Got a pair of boots. Not because Rousey's better than Dackers. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Dackers needs to get out on loan and be playing 90 minutes every week, and probably at a lower level to be able to develop himself, because he's 19 as well, 19, 20, 21. And it's not about to be easy for him, as I said. Being a bit taller than the rest, the referees will be on his arms, on his legs. He'll be getting nickels, and he's got to learn the rough and tumble of the game a bit more than being at Man City. They won't have taught him how to play in League Two.
Well, I suppose the future will guide us, won't it? It'll
Clean your boots for Saturday, Rousey.
It's going to go one way or the other, isn't it? I hope because he's a sober player, and I know you do.
I hope him well.
I know you're being. Yeah, of course.
I've got nothing against him personally. I'm very critical of what I say, and I try to believe I'm honest, and I hate it sometimes because I'm just saying to a young lad who's actually got the world at his feet that he hasn't.
We like difference of opinions. That's what it's about.
Crushed him, Gav.
What's that?
I said you've just crushed him, crushed his dreams. It's crazy.
His dad's going to crush you.
That's what matters.
It's crying in his porridge, you know.
If Dackers gets a picture like that with me at Saturday, I'll start talking about him even more. Oh, it's fantastic, that Dackers. But at the moment, we need Rousey up front.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the World Cup squads have been announced, haven't they? So
Dackers, isn't it?
obviously Tom King's not been picked for Wales. I mean, looking at the goalkeepers that have been picked, I know he's been in the squads of recent, but he's never played. But you know, when you look at the keepers that have been called for Wales, you can understand why Tom's not got a place in there. However, to the benefit of us, and like you say, I think recently, and if he was we've said this before, if he's perfect at anything, he'd be playing Premier League. Yes, there's parts of his game he really needs to improve. But I mean, of recent, some of the saves he's made has really kept us in games. I mean, some top draw saves.
I've said it all along. I think shot stopping he's actually very, very good at that, and that's his job. His job is to keep the ball out of the net. He's kicking, yes, and I think he knows that. I think that is something that he needs to work on. I have actually noticed the last 2 games he hasn't been lumping it forward as much. He's been playing it out across the ground, which is good in my opinion. Yes, we then get the ball and are not moving it quick enough, but I think that is the start. I think if we can change our mentality in that a little bit, I think
and get Nartay work for him as well, maybe.
Yeah, no, I genuinely do. I do think that it could work, and like I said, somebody has obviously told him, or he's took note, because he's seemed to have stopped doing it or stopped doing it as much. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, when the time comes and you need to, you punt it up the pitch. It's what you do. Whether it goes out for throwing or not, you get it away from danger.
Safety first.
Yeah, safety first. But as a shot stopper, I rate him. I do like Tom King. I don't think he's
Tom King is a League Two goalkeeper. My opinion is excellent. If he could kick a ball more than once and keep it in play, he would be a League One goalkeeper. No question about it. If he could actually improve his kicking and was a decent, he wouldn't be in League Two. He's much better than League Two. But because he's terrible at kicking a lot of the time, not all the time, that's what's keeping him here. Being a League Two keeper, you're only going to the World Cup with luck. And that's if the players above you in the Championship and Premier League are injured.
It'd have been a jolly.
So if the players are injured above him,
I'm glad he's not been picked.
If the players above him are injured, he'll get in. But realistically, a League Two player isn't going to the World Cup without luck. And that's the luck is bad luck for someone else. So I don't think it's a bad thing him not going. I don't think it reflects him as a goalkeeper.
No.
He's just at a standard which he needs to improve his kicking, and he needs to be thinking about, I want to be a League One goalkeeper. The World Cup will just be a bad distraction for him, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. It's bittersweet because I'm, devastated for him that he's not got the opportunity to go to Qatar and, and just experience it. But it's good for Salford. It's good for us. Hopefully, he just gets his head down and knuckles down. And like I said, the last few games, shot stopping wise, he's done really well. And I'm glad that he's playing it along the floor a lot more now. So I think that's enough said on it, really. Yeah, I'm devastated for him personally, but as from a Salford perspective, I'm happy. I'm happy that he's not been chose.
Well, I suppose. I mean, we've covered this. I mean, we don't need to go over it again. But we've not scored in the last 5 league games. We've not scored in 4 of them. So we've covered that more than enough. Let's talk about AFC Wimbledon. 15th, 5 points behind us. They've conceded the 5th highest amount of goals in the league so far with 24, but they've scored more than us by 22 to our 19. Couple of players, Josh Davison, 6 goals, and Ayub Asal, 4 goals. Definitely pronounced that right. The point I'm making there is, I suppose, just looking at their form. Now, their recent form, if you go back to the 22nd of October, beat Rochdale 2-1. All right, Rochdale. Drew with Crewe, beat Harrogate 3-2. All right, all games that you should be winning. And then last game on Tuesday, they've gone and beat Leyton Orient 2-0. So, I'm looking at 15, 5 points behind, and I'm going, that doesn't look right to me. And I suppose the concern is, I know everything's on the day and anybody can beat anybody, but they're coming into a game off the back of beating top at table 2-0. They'll be flying on cloud 9. you know, whereas we can't score goals at the moment. So what we're thinking about the game, chaps?
Well, I think they started really badly, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I think that 5 points behind us, that 15th, isn't a true reflection.
No.
They came down and they struggled to adapt straight away, and the recent form has been better. So I won't say too much, but the one thing I'll do is I'll latch on to what you said about the last game. They beat Leyton Orient 2-0. Fantastic result, really. So a couple of things I made from that was, during that 2-0 win at Orient, they had 37% possession. That's one thing. So it isn't as though they're going out to dominate games. They're actually doing things effective to a certain extent. They're defending well, obviously, because Orient's had a lot of the ball. And when they've got the ball, they're using it well. The other one was, I think it goes back to the Peterborough one. The fouls was 18 versus 20 against Leyton Orient. So they can kick each other about, so to say, and they can be in a battle. They're in a battle, I would think, with Leyton Orient, and they came out of it 2-0. So them are the things which I've noticed, really. Not about really look too much about the other results, because I think, like I said, they started poor. But yeah, they can battle. They don't necessarily need the ball. And like I say, it shows they could. Well, you said as well that they scored more than us. So them are the things which stuck out to me.
Yeah, I won't disagree. I think with what Gav said, I think they're in a bit of a false position. I think they'll be up there come the end of the season. And it's a worry because they're coming into form and we're struggling to put the ball in the net. I think it's going to be tough on Saturday, but again, you look at Salford on paper and you say that we should be beating anyone and everyone in the league. You know, the signings that we've made, the salaries that the lads get paid. It's League One for me. You know what I mean? We should be dominating this league, and we're not. We just seem to be struggling. I'm actually. It's the first time in a long time, but I go into Saturday worried about the result. And you know, like I said, it's a bit of a. I'm gutted saying it, but like I said, we're struggling up top, and they are coming into form. So, I mean, obviously for predictions, I'm not going to say we're going to get beat, but yeah,
it's a banker, Andy. It's a banker.
I'm worried. I'm worried for us. I think, I think we're playing them at the wrong time, personally.
They're a club as well who, obviously, Wimbledon, the original Wimbledon, got sold off and went to MK Milton Keynes, then to MK Dons. Yeah. So they're a club who are they 10, 15-year-old, whatever they are. And what they've done, they've got a lot of their talent from South London and London area. So their talent pool, to a certain extent, in London, it's 10 million people living there. So I believe the transition up the leagues has been through getting that talent out of the London area, and they've done well doing it. So we might not necessarily know a lot of the names, but I would expect there'll be a couple of eye openers and go, oh wow, he's a decent one there, and that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting to see some gems. Whether they can beat us or not, that's another thing. We can toss a coin. We'll have our guesses, but yeah, I think once they get a run together, once they're settled down in the league, which it seems like they are, they'll be in the top 6, top 3 even.
But they look like they play like a kind of like a 4-2-3-1. So you know, set up with a nice flat 4. Your 2 in your midfield, got some wide players in there, and yeah, it'd just be interesting to see how we set up. I think if we. It's hard to say whether Nartay will play. I'm not just banking everything on Nartay, by the way. His play sounds like I am, but I think if Nartay does play and we go to a flat back 4, and we put the square pegs in the square holes instead of the square pegs in the round holes, that's where we've got our chance. I
agree with that.
You know, let's get Luke Bolton back out wide. If I know. We can talk about whether if Hendry's fit, does he start? Does Dackers start? Smith? But I think if we've got a striker in a striker's role, that's one thing. Nartay comes back in. You know, it'd be interesting to see who starts with Jenkins, Watson, Watt, and Lund, and Who else have we missed? Galbraith, you know, and play. You know, we've got loads of players fighting for positions in that midfield area. So, I don't. Yeah, it's a tricky one, but like I say, a form would suggest it's definitely not going to be easy. It's no easy game. It does concern me a little bit, but if we do win it, if we get a win, we're dying for a win at home, aren't we? We're dying for a win at home, and I think if we do get that win, it'll sort of throw that voodoo, and hopefully it could be a turn in fortunes for us. I'm trying to be positive.
No, that's what I want. You know, like I said, at some point, every team goes through a sticky spell, and we're going through that. It's like I think we've mentioned, it's progressively got worse over the last few weeks, and for me, we're at our lowest point. That performance, the second half anyway at Rochdale was terrible. It wasn't great, but the last few games, the writing's been on the wall. We're having lots of the ball, not enough end product, no shots on target, and you don't deserve to win games if you're not creating chances and taking shots and having a go. So yeah, like I said, we are due a turning point, and I hope it comes on Saturday. But yeah, just for me, form wise, we're floundering a little bit, and they're picking up wins. And like you just said there, we just beat top of the league. We've just played them and got absolutely dominated for 90 minutes when we played Orient. So it's worrying. But like I said, we are due that turning point. So hopefully it's on Saturday.
Well,
prove me wrong, lads.
Let's not think about the what ifs and what if we lose. Let's be positive. Let's go. Hopefully we get the 3 points. What's the prediction, Gav? You go first on this one?
So if Nartay starts,
you can't have two guesses.
He always does, doesn't
he? How can I use this sentence then to make it into two? I think if Nartay starts, it'll be a positive and we'll play further forward. Galbraith, if he's on the right, I think it releases Bolton. The right of a free, not the right of a what have you. So we go 4-3-3 to a certain extent. It releases Bolton, but it's a banker, so it's a 0-0.
Perfect. Nice. Rousey?
I'll never have us losing on a prediction, although I'm worried about it. I think it's, and I said, like, we need to have loads of shots on target. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Salford win.
27 shots.
27 shots on target. Yeah, but yeah. And then I'll be on next week going, that's shocking. 27 shots on target and only scoring one. Well, but anyway, yeah, you can't win with me. But yeah, I can't have us losing. So I'm gonna go for a 1-0 win.
I'll go for 1-1. I'll go for 1-1. I don't believe. I hope we win. Absolutely 100% hope we win. But my head and my heart.
I can't ever predict we're gonna lose. I can't do it. Sorry.
Head and heart saying one thing and the other, and I'm just going to meet in the middle, and there's a compromise sit on the fence. Yeah. Very, very quickly, not going to go into any details. We've got Peterborough in the week with replay. We're not going to go into details. We know the story. Just a quick prediction, guys. What do we think is going to happen?
It depends how serious they take it. If they make changes again, we've got a chance. For me.
I think they'll go serious. No messing about. They don't want penalties or what have you. So I think they will be serious. If they don't, we've got a chance. But I think they will go serious.
I think they're going to mess about with a team, and we're going to win 2-1.
On Gav.
So
on penalties.
But the performance we had at Peterborough was fantastic and much against what I expected. I can't see us getting anything against them. And we got these train strikes, I believe, on the 26th. So if we go Shrewsbury, we might struggle getting there. So we might as well just lose.
Just lose.
Forget the cars. If we can't get there by train, we need going.
No. Forget the cars. So, after saying that, we're going to win 2-0.
Supposed to be quick, this guy.
Oh, classic.
What are you having?
I'm just going to keep it simple.
We don't want it simple, please, Martin. Can you explain the reason?
Well, life is when you want to achieve something in life, it's all about consistency. That's what these life mentors tell you. Consistency is the key. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
One shot on target.
No, well, we're not going to have a shot on target. It'll be an own goal.
Oh, there'll be an own goal, will it? No shots on target, own goal. That's consistent.
From a keeper.
I don't care as long as it's an own goal from someone. They don't care. And guys, I think that is about it. I'll have to edit the beginning off from Gav because he was messing around, doing his.
Good looking lad, though. That.
Not bad, is it? And that's
I met him in Peterborough, mate. I met him where he was steamers.
He was.
Yeah, he's just chatting shit.
Guys, fantastic. Good podcast. Enjoyed that. Hopefully look forward to the next one as well next week. If we get said guest on here, it'll be a bad
Neil, get ready.
Yeah. Well,
if it's not Neil Wood, I'll be upset. If it's not Neil Wood, I'll be gutted.
Okay, well, just to put your mind at rest, Gav, it's not Neil Wood. I'm sorry, mate. On that note, ta-ta for now.
See you soon.
See you
later.
Ta-ta for now.